Welcome guys, this is another episode for my YouTube channel, and I'm just gonna go on a bit of a rant just to tell you guys what's happened to me the last few months. The beginning of 2026 has been pretty eventful, from a few interstate trips, things happening in my personal life, work life, and I want to make this channel as authentic as possible, share with you guys within reason, where I'm at, what I'm trying to do, and some of the challenges that I've faced. I want to first off by saying that I can kind of feel the last maybe 2 to 3 years, I can feel God's working in my life, and I'll explain why. Some of the things that I've had to face as of late, a few years ago, if I was to face those same things, I probably would have buckled. I would have been stressed out. And don't get me wrong, I still, stress out. But I can kind of feel God working in my life and, being there for me in terms of my, strength to, carry certain burdens, the strength and the discernment to make the right decisions, and more importantly, to stay calm, and I truly believe these are things that are preparing me for marriage. Obviously, if it's God's will, I want to get married. But in order to get married, you sort of need to become a certain type of person. I mean, as you may know, that marriages don't really last anymore. I think the divorce rate, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it might be like 60% end in divorce. Someone might be able to confirm that in the comments. And they reckon another, 30% are unhappy. Still married, but are unhappy in their marriage. So that leaves like 10% of people with a quote unquote successful marriage. But as men, it's very important to build yourself up to a point where you can handle stress, you can handle challenges, you can handle the finances, you can handle the struggle. You literally need to be the foundation for the family, for your wife, for your kids. And the last 2 months, what are we now? I guess now we're into March, so the last 2 and a bit months, I've had a really challenging time, and in the next week or so, I have to make some really important decisions that pretty much will change the trajectory of my life. And like I was telling you, 2 years ago, if I was to face these same things, I probably would have buckled. But I pray in the morning, I pray at night, church attendance, confessing. Again, I'm not saying these things out of pride, just telling you guys what I'm doing. And I can kind of feel that whatever's happening in my life is happening for a reason. Now, whether it's, to change the trajectory of my life, to get me to do something else with my life, preparing me for marriage, or, maybe making me humble, because, there's that quote, I think Alex Hormozy says, if you were to make a man and you were to teach him patience, you wouldn't give him everything all at once, right? You'd make him wait. If you wanted to teach someone, courage, you'd give him something, that would scare him in order to build his courage. If you were to teach someone humility, you would remove things from that person's life, or, embarrass him, or, do something to humble him, all right? So what I'm trying to say, it could be like one of those three things, or it could be all of those three things, And I just wanted to make this video just to tell people that, where you are in your life, if you're on God's path, that is, I think, everything that's happening to you is there for, number one, your salvation, but number two, it's there to like mold and forge you into the person you're meant to become, all right? And so for me, I think always since I was young, I've always thought that I was destined for something greater than, again, I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, than like how the average person lives their life. They wake up, drive to work, drive home, have dinner, go to sleep, and repeat. I don't know, for some reason in me, and again, I'm not saying this in an arrogant way, I've always just thought I was destined for something great. I don't know what it is. I still don't know what it is. But for those that haven't followed me on Insta, please do. It's a George Damo _. You can see some of the posts that I make on the Orthodox faith. And yes, talking about the faith, we're, I think, week 2 into Lent, and I've had some pretty hectic things happen to me. I won't go into too much detail, but things in my, I guess, personal life, things in my work life, and things in my, I guess, spiritual life. To an outsider, someone outside the faith, I would probably think it's, excuse that, it's just a plane going overhead. Would think it's really bad, and to be honest, I should feel really down, but I can't help feel this, I guess, sense of peace that all these things are happening to me and through me, but yet I'm kind of pretty calm about it all. Now, it's either, like I was saying to you guys before, God, building my character up to handle this stuff, or I feel peace because this is God's path for me, all right? Or it could be a bit of both. And so what I want to try and do, I want to try and make maybe one video a week, just touching base with where I'm at in terms of my, mental health, my spiritual health, what I'm up to as well. So, currently, with work and stuff like that, I'll tell you guys more about it, but I'm involved with some land subdivisions, and I've got a health food supplement as well, Pro Vibe Life AU. So if you want to check that out, it's a product called Shilajit that I'm working on. I get it from a supplier in Kazakhstan, and I've always been into health and fitness and supplements, so it's something I'm really passionate about. And aside from those things, I've got obviously big plans for the future, although, there's a war happening now in Iran, and the world seems very uncertain. But nonetheless, I've got my goals that I write down every morning, and I am gonna strive to attain these said goals. Another goal of mine is I actually want to start getting into podcasting. I just wouldn't say I haven't had the time, but I've had other things I needed to focus on, or still need to focus on, before I get to that point. And that's why like now I'm just starting off small. So I'm starting off posting on Instagram, and then of course I'm doing YouTube. I think this is my fourth or fifth YouTube video. So I'd appreciate it if you guys can subscribe or share my content. But yeah, my end goal is to eventually get into podcasting. I want to get talk or make the theme of the podcast around the faith, and I've always loved entrepreneurship, and so I want it to be about faith, entrepreneurship, and I kind of want to focus on men as a whole, how to become, or how to become a complete wholesome man. What are the pillars, what are the characteristics, even helping young men prepare to get married. What do they need to know about themselves? What do they need to know about marriage? I think that's very important, because I don't feel like there's a lot out there about that stuff, especially for men. There's plenty of groups and stuff like that for women, but in the man space, there's not really much, and I think we're ill prepared for marriage. Like, you don't really get taught about this sort of stuff, at school or uni or any of it, or even family. A lot of people don't even know themselves, to be honest. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, make sure you click the subscribe button, and I'll see you guys for the next video.